Yes, everyone, how are we doing? And welcome to the post-match reaction for Manchester City 2, Arsenal 2. A crazy, crazy game of football. Look, I get the feeling that this is going to be the longest video I've ever posted on here, so strap yourselves in. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're not already, and let's talk about this game, because this was a crazy game of football. Arsenal played some of the worst football I have ever seen in my entire life. Look, I don't care. I've got a lot of complaining to do, so I'm going to get right into it. What I seen from Arsenal today in that second half was vile. It was the most anti-football setup I have ever seen in my entire life. Now, look, I've seen a lot of teams turn up to the Etihad, desperate for whatever they can. They'll sit every man behind the ball and just hope for the best. Do you know what I'm saying? Just hang on to whatever they can. Just try not to concede. Now, this was on steroids compared to anything I've ever seen for a team before. I've seen Stoke turn up for a 0-0. I've seen, Everton, Sean Dyche's Burnley, and this, it didn't even come close. That second half performance from Arsenal, every man behind the ball, they had about 12 or 13% possession. I couldn't believe what I seen. And now, look, I'm not shy to admit, in my opinion, Arsenal have the best defence in the Premier League. Timber's a top player. That centre-half partnership, Saliba and Gabriel, are immense. David Raya is on form, probably the best keeper in the world at the minute. And yesterday, once again, he was on fire. He was the only reason that Arsenal managed to get a point out of this game. He was unbelievable. They don't have to set up like that. The terrorist football stuff, it doesn't have to be like that. I understand they were down to 10 men and they were desperate to get anything out of it. But that isn't the behaviour of champions. There's people coming out and saying, whether it's with fans, pundits, journalists, everyone coming out and saying, look, this is well done to Arsenal. Congratulations on a fantastic defensive performance. Unlucky, lads, that you didn't manage to hold on and terrorise your way to a 3 points. And look, I don't get it. You're not going to get that from me. I'm me. I'm myself. I'm honest. I might come across as a tit. I might come across as bitter or angry or sour or anything. You can think what you want of me. But I will be completely honest, and I will put across here the way I feel. Arsenal don't need, they don't deserve congratulating. They definitely don't deserve applauding. They failed. Are we applauding failure now? What's going on? If you said going into the game to an Arsenal fan, look, you're going to spend the second half of football with 10 men and you're going to come away with a point. Away at the Etihad, would you take it? I'd be shocked if there were any Arsenal fans that go, nah, not for me, not for me. Of course they'd take it, but circumstances change. If you're going to set up like that in the way that you do, park the bus to an extreme Jose Mourinho level that even he wouldn't be able to pull off. If you're going to set up that way, then you have to get the result. And Arsenal failed. They bottled it once again. They bottled it 2 seasons ago. They bottled it last season. And today they bottled it once again. John Stones off the bench, 98th minute, bang, back in the net. City equalise. We keep this home record that we've got. That with this unbeaten home record since 2022 November. I thought it was going to be over. The way that Arsenal were playing, I don't think City played well. I'll be honest. As much as Arsenal were terrible in the way they defended, just every man behind the ball. As much as it's horrible, they defended well. I'm not gonna. This ain't me applauding them, but they did defend well up until the 98th minute. City, we just didn't do enough. We couldn't break them down. We did try, but it was so sideways. The amount of time that we were just stuck low on options with Diaz or Walker or Akanji or Kovacic on the edge of the box, and the only option was just have a shot. But we were playing right into Arsenal's hands. That's what you want. If you're 2-1 up, you've got 10 men behind the ball, and Ruben Diaz is having to have 4 or 5 shots from 25 yards out. Arsenal, we were playing into their hands. That's exactly what they wanted. And it's what we did. And the way that we scored, it was pinball. It was a scruffy goal. I said going into the game that it would be an ugly game, an ugly win for City. It wasn't a win. But best believe that when Stones put the ball in the back of the net, it felt like a win. It felt like an achievement, which is a bit hypocritical because we spoke about last season how Arsenal celebrated a draw at the Etihad. But as I said before, circumstances change. It's all about the circumstance. Arsenal, the game plan they had, they came in and injured out Rodri. They knew what they had to do. We had no Kevin De Bruyne. We had no Phil Foden. They wanted to take out Rodri. That was clear. That was deliberate. Don't let it fool you, the fact that, Rodri There wasn't much contact in the injury that he came off with. 10 seconds into the game, they were straight in on him. They wanted Rodri injured in this game. So yeah, look, what can I say? Arsenal, they executed the game plan perfectly. Come into the game, injure Rodri, get ahead, put every man behind the ball, and defend with your lives. And they did it, and they did it successfully to the 98th minute. But look, there's quite a few things I've got to talk about here. That's the first thing done. Arsenal's anti-football performance, park the bus. Oh, God, it's really got me annoyed. The second thing I want to talk about, another big talking point, is Michael Oliver. The reaction from Arsenal fans is insufferable. It is painful. I'm losing brain cells listening and reading to comments about how Michael Oliver was our 12th man. Have you lost your mind? Were you watching the same game as me? Seriously, if there's City fans, anyone, regardless of the team support, if you're watching this now, let me know in the comments, if you watch the game, what your thoughts are on Michael Oliver. Because I don't for 1 second feel like he was City's 12th man at all. I think quite the contrary, to be honest. He was more on Arsenal's side. Let's have a look at the goals that happened, right? We'll go in chronological order of all 4 goals that happened. The first one, the 1-0, the lead that City took, Erling Haaland, not wrong with that. Can't fault. Oliver had nothing to do with this. It was a beautifully weighted pass, a beautiful ball from Savinho, right through one-on-one with Haaland. Haaland puts the ball in the back of the net, his 100th goal in a City shirt, and his limbs in style stand. You know, we're in heaven. It is a beautiful sight. City 1-0, kick off early, a nice early goal against Arsenal. Good. The second goal, Oliver, Michael Oliver. I'm sorry, but he's got to take some responsibility for this. He calls in the both captains, calls in Bukayo Saka for Arsenal, calls in Kyle Walker for City, has a meaningless conversation for no more than 10 seconds, and then instantly, bear in mind, he's pulled Walker out of position for the conversation. He then instantly blows his whistle for Arsenal to play, leaving a massive gap. That is his fault that Walker isn't there, because he's pulled him out. He leaves the gap. Arsenal capitalised. Now look, this isn't Arsenal's fault. It's clever. You know, they pounced on an opportunity. Well done to them. But it's Michael Oliver. What was the point in that? If you're going to pull him for a conversation for 10 seconds, for whatever reason, let him get back in position before you play. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. And he knows it himself. He has to know that he's got to take some accountability for the fact that that gap wouldn't have happened. Now look, City still could have defended it better. They still could have defended. When Walker eventually got himself back in position, I feel like he could have defended against Martinelli better. You know, we allowed Calafiore, whatever he's called, too much time. You know, Bernardo or who was there? Kovacic. Someone should have closed him down, stopped him from taking the shot / crush, whichever one he meant. But as much as we could have still defended on top of that better, it is down to Michael Oliver for pulling Walker out of position. I've got no issue. If you're going to pull him for a conversation, at least wait to let him get set back up before allowing Arsenal to play. He's got to take some responsibility for that. So don't try and tell me that he was our 12th man. He helped Arsenal there. But he gets worse. In my opinion, right, let me know if you think I'm being biased when I say this. I don't think that goal should have stood. For me, there's a very solid case that is a foul on Ederson in that corner. I really do. Now look, maybe it's not down to Oliver. I know it was checked by VAR. VAR should have picked up on it. But I think there's a very strong case there that is a foul. There'll be other games this season. I'm not going to say there would be other games. There will be other games this season where for less contact, less interference, fouls will be given and goals will be ruled out. And exactly when they do, I will call it out and I will mention it here. I think there's a strong case that, look, that goal shouldn't have stood. I'm just saying, all right? That's my opinion. But my point is, surely, if Michael Oliver was our 12th man, surely if, you know, Michael Oliver's on the payroll like everyone's making out he is, he'd have ruled that goal out. He'd have called the goal off. He wouldn't have called Walker for a conversation, or at least he'd have let Walker set up and check with Walker, you know, if he's on our payroll. Are you all right for Arsenal to take the kick now? Do you know what I mean? 2 instances where he's benefited Arsenal. He has given Arsenal the advantage ahead of City in 2 massive moments, 2 goals. You know, I don't believe for 1 second that he was City's 12th man, not even a little bit. And the red card, I think this is the main thing that they're crying about, saying about how the reason that they believe that Oliver was on our side. It's stupidity. It's not a City's fault. It's not Michael Oliver's fault that Trossard hasn't got a brain cell in that box of his to learn from the lesson, learn from your mistakes, Arsenal. You watched 2 weeks ago against Brighton, Trossard's former club, when Rice, for kicking the ball away, just even a little bit less than Trossard did, Rice only gave it a tap and got his second yellow card and was sent off. And you thought your world had ended when you were without Declan Rice in that North London derby, the way you went on about it. You know, the way Arteta went on about it, the fans, everyone, the reaction, you thought it was a meltdown. And that was from Rice kicking the ball away. Trossard does something completely different. He makes a stupid foul, bearing in mind he's already had a yellow card, which there's no complaints for that yellow card. If you pull someone's shirt, you're getting booked. It's as simple as that. I think that's a standard rule across refereeing in Premier League. But he makes the foul on Bernardo Silva, which is a stupid foul, about 20 seconds before half-time whistle. You know, and he just laces the ball away. What are you doing? That isn't Oliver's fault. That's not City's fault. That's stupidity. That's having a lack of fucking intelligence. How is that Michael Oliver on City's payroll? He had to book him. He had to send him off. Now people are crying saying, oh look, 10 minutes before, Doku did the same thing. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Doku kicked the ball to Arsenal players. Michael Oliver, he blew his whistle, gave Arsenal a free kick, again on City's payroll. He gave Arsenal a free kick, and Doku kicked the ball to where Oliver was pointing. He didn't kick the ball out of play. He didn't lace it 20 yards away. Don't tell me he's on our payroll. I think Oliver had a really poor game today. Maybe there were instances where he gave City free kicks that he shouldn't have, or he blew for offside of corners. I don't know. I don't really care. The main instances, the main things that had impacts on the game, you cannot tell me that Michael Oliver was on City's sides. No, no, no way. Not having it. Not for 1 second. The goal from Calafiore was down, partially down to Oliver's stupidity and lack of timing, understanding of the game to let Walker to get back in position. The second goal for Arsenal, as I've said, if he was on our payroll, he'd have called it off. And as for that red card, like I said, there is no one to blame for that other than Trossard. Have a bit of brain, have a bit of football intelligence. You're 10 seconds away from half time. You're already on yellow card. Don't oof the ball out of play, you tip. You're doing. So look, I've got no sympathy for Arsenal one bit. For obviously many reasons. One, because I'm a City fan. Why would I have sympathy for Arsenal, crumbling in the last minute of a game when my team benefited from it? I'm not going to have sympathy with that. But even if this was that exact game and they were against Liverpool or Chelsea, I'd have no sympathy for them. How can I sympathise with stupidity, with Trossard getting sent off? And, I would never, ever, ever sympathise for a team crumbling when they set up the way Arsenal did. It is pathetic. That is not the behaviour of title challengers. That's the behaviour of title pretenders. It was disgusting from Arsenal. They ain't a top team. They've been making out like, they've overstepped a mark here this third season. Now they're ready for it. They've learnt the lessons. They've now got that brain, the mentality, and they know they don't. You're fooling yourselves. You're not fooling anyone else. That is the mentality. Crumbling in the 98th minute is not mentality. You're not anywhere closer to winning a title. If you've got to behave like that in the biggest game of your season, that ain't mentality. That's a weak-mindedness, that. Now, look on to City's performance. I don't think we were exactly exceptional today. I don't think we were for 1 second. I think City started well. Up until Rodri was off the pitch, it was all City. I know it was only about 15, 20 minutes, but it was all City early on. Gundogan had a good opportunity to take the lead 1-0. Probably should have put the ball in the back of the net. At least should have hit it on target. Should have just looked before shooting. The goal was a work of magic from Haaland. 100th goal in a City shirt. It's total control. Until they have their third goal at Rodri and injure him, and then we bring Kovacic on, and we lose that bit of control and comfortable and confidence that Rodri provides for us. That's when the game changed a little bit. But even in first half, I think it was pretty even. Towards the end of the first half, obviously, definitely Arsenal, they were the better side. It was inevitable they were going to score from the corner, from set pieces. You're so frustrating. They're so good. They're the best team in the league at set pieces. It's what they do. But that second half, look at the stats. Go and have a look at the stats. 33 shots to 5, 11 shots on target to 3. 88% possession we had in that second half until like the 92nd minute. That's ridiculous. I think as far as City, it was frustrating, especially in that second half. Like I've been saying, it was too sideways. It was too passive. We weren't taking any risks. The closest you could say to taking a risk was taking a shot from 25 yards out. But that's playing into Arsenal's hands. That's doing exactly what they want. If you offer Arsenal, the only opportunities, the only shots that City are going to be taking off is Ruben Diaz from outside the box. They'll soak that up all day. Diaz ain't going to win us the game from outside the box, is it? He's not Vincent Kompany against Leicester. That's not happening again, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's once in a lifetime thing. It was never going to happen. We were never going to break him down like that. It had to. We were only going to equalise late on in a scruffy goal where we have a shot and it takes a deflection and it takes another deflection and it just forces someone. It was always going to be that way if we were going to break them down. because Arsenal, the way they set up, they were impossible to get through. Bernardo tried. We've got some of the best dribblers in the world. Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish. You know, we've got some Doku, Jeremy Doku. You're gonna laugh. We've got some fantastic dribblers, but we just couldn't get through. And it was frustrating. It was such a frustrating watch. Sideways, as if we were playing rugby. Pot shot that went miles over the bar. We were wasteful. We were really wasteful. And look, as much as you wouldn't believe it by how angry and, you know, argumentative with myself I've been in this video so far, but I'm actually somewhat pleased with the result because, like I keep reiterating about, the circumstance that we were in. I'm not too mad at the result. For an equaliser in the 98th minute, the way we fought until the end, the pride that the players have got, the reaction after the game, the brawl, Haaland bouncing the ball off Gabriel's head, how much it means, you can see it, the emotion in this team. I can't be angry. I can't be angry at my team. No way. The best team in the world. The team that didn't give up to the end. The team that didn't crumble under the pressure. Arsenal did. I can be annoyed at them. I can be annoyed at their anti-football, the way they set up. But as far as City, as much as I don't think we played well and we should have done better, we definitely should have created better chances with the players that we've got on the pitch. And we should have been as wasteful as we were in possession at times. But I can't be angry at my team. No way. I think in that second half, we were crying out for De Bruyne. We were crying out for him because De Bruyne isn't someone that's going to wriggle his way through 3 or 4 players like Foden can, like Bernardo can. He's not that guy. He's never been that guy. And we tried and tried, but we weren't able to do it. There were too many men back. You know, and in size, we're putting in meaningless balls into the box when Arsenal are so much better than us in the air. We're never going to win it in the air. Haaland's our only big threat in the air, isn't he? And he's been doubled up on Saliba and Gabriel. He's got no chance. I think we missed that creativity, that pass that no other player in the world can pick out, that Kevin De Bruyne does for us. Even with Rodri, obviously, but as I said, he played 15 minutes of today's game. But if he was there, we probably wouldn't have been in the circumstance that we were in. We might have already been winning. You know, we might have not let Arsenal gain back control if Rodri wouldn't have come off. It's all if buts and maybes, isn't it? But Rodri, I feel like he could have given us something that could have won us the game. There were players like your Rodri, your De Bruyne. These are players in the big moments that you call on, and we just didn't have either of them, did we? Because of the unfortunateness, really. There was a little glimmer of hope that De Bruyne could have played, but obviously he mustn't be ready after that Inter game, picked up a slight injury. Foden, it didn't make sense for me. I think Foden should have started today. I don't understand it from Pep. If he's not ready, fair enough. But then if he's not ready, don't be coming out in press conferences saying that how we're desperate to have him back and he's ready to play a full 90, because you're bringing him on in the 70th minute when we're crying out for a bit of creativity. It doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? And look, speaking of Rodri, it doesn't look good. It really, really doesn't look good. I'm so angry at Arsenal for that. Disgusting. Oh, God. They set out to do it. They set out for Rodri straight away. They made it clear 10 seconds in. 10 seconds in, he went in for him. And it's his knee as well. I really hope it's nothing serious. Obviously, we'll find out more tomorrow. There'll be tests done. And I hope it's nothing too major, because Rodri's a massive, massive player. I think we can survive without him until after the international break. We can deal with that. Obviously, I mean, we've got to go St. James's Park next weekend, and that is a tough place to go to with Rodri, never mind without. So we might struggle there. But other games, you know, we've got quite an easy game relatively as far as draws in the Champions League and the Carabao Cup upcoming. And Fulham at home without Rodri, we should be able to handle. And then it's obviously the 2-week break. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. It was just painful. We have got the little bit of hope that he walked off. Yeah, it was a little bit of a limp, but he didn't. He's stretching off. So we don't know. It's all just if, buts and maybes. It's all just a guessing game. I just hope for City's sake and Rodri's sake that it's nothing too serious. You don't want to see your players going off like that. Not in big games like this. And your knee, when it's a knee injury, you know it's always scary. It's not a pretty sight. I watched replays of it happen. The way his leg jolts, it looks uncomfortable. It looks unnatural. So yeah, fingers crossed. I'm praying with every bone in my body that Rodri's okay. He's at least semi-okay anyway. And yeah, look, as for the positives coming out today, like I've mentioned, Erling Haaland got his 100th Manchester City goal, doing numbers that, you know, unprecedented, never been seen before. And where's all the talk around Haaland now, mate? I just said, because obviously maybe when things calm down a little bit as far as refereeing decisions and Arsenal fans, you know, wiping the tears and that and eating the humble pie, we might start appreciating the fact that Haaland scored in this game, you know, because if he didn't, I know all the talk would have been, oh, Haaland never does it in a big game, can he? All I was hearing when he was netting hat-tricks after hat-tricks after hat-tricks was, oh, wait until he plays Gabriel and Saliba. Wait until he plays them two. Well, he played them, and he ran literally through the pair of them to go one-on-one with the keeper and put the ball in the back of the net. So he's been waiting. He made Gabriel look stupid. We got the equaliser. He picked the ball and dashed it off his head. He's all for it. Haaland was perfect today. The way he played, the way he put the ball in the back of the net, and his antics after the game, whether it be with Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Magdalenis, whatever he's called. He's just, I love him. His antics on and off the pitch. He's like having one of us on there. When he's celebrating his goal, he's holding a City scarf. He gave us a lot today, Haaland. I was really impressed with him. Another positive being that, look, it was John Stones once again against Arsenal. Stones saving the day in a big game. I was happy for him on a personal note because he has struggled a little bit this season. I don't think he's played well, to be honest, while he's been in the team. But today, he was there when we needed him. Blowing kisses to the City fans as he runs off in awe. It was a beautiful sight. And I'm hoping this is the start of things to come for Stones this season. I'm hoping he can kick on from here and secure his spot back in the team. Because, look, I love Akanji, but our best partnership when players are at the peak of the powers, our best partnership is Alfie Stones and Diaz, 110%. So if Stones can reach the level that he was at, last season before, get fit again, get in a good rhythm, then I think it would be really good for City, this. Obviously, another positive being that, look, we fought to the end. It's what City do. We never give up. We never ever give up, and that's why we've been as successful as we have been in the past 5 or 6 years. It's why we've won as much as we have done. It's why that we're feared as much as we are. It's why the Etihad record is as good as it is. No matter how hard it gets, no matter the opponent. Today, Arsenal, supposedly the second best team in the league, the team that's challenging us. Our biggest game really this season against Arsenal, most important for the league table anyway. We fought until the end, no matter how hard it was, no matter how frustrating it was. If we were finding, we've got to appreciate, right? If we were finding it as frustrating as it was watching from the stands, can you imagine them playing in it? How difficult mentally it is regurgitating the same stuff over and over again, and it's just being lumped out or just having to try again. It must have been so frustrating for the players. So I'm proud of them. We fought until the end and we got a result in the end. And they deserved one at that. We probably should have come out with more. We deserved it. And then look, as for the Premier League table, we stay top of the league. Lovely stuff. We're now in the opening 5 games of the season. 13 points from a possible 15. You take that. Especially when one of them is Arsenal. You take that all day long. We stay top. I know it's a long way to go, but it's always nice. You'd rather be top than anywhere else, wouldn't you? And yeah, we're just doing good. We remain unbeaten in the Premier League. Our home record stays intact. Not lost at the Etihad Stadium in any competition since November 2022. I did think, I'll be honest, when it was like 95th, 96th minute and I'm seeing Arsenal fans celebrate Raya catching a football like they've just won the league again, because you'd have thought they would the past 2 seasons, wouldn't you? When I'm seeing that happen, I was thinking, look, it's just not our day. The record is up. What a run it's been. But no, the record is not up. We extend it. And I'm buzzing about it. I'm buzzing. But look, there is something I just want to touch on as I end this video, all right? And that is Bernardo Silva's post-match quotes about Arsenal and Manchester City's rivalry with Arsenal compared to our rivalry with Liverpool over the Klopp era the past few years. So Bernardo had to say this, and I love this from Bernardo. I really do. I just love him. In moments like this, the big game, he's a bastard, isn't he? But a bastard that's on your team, a bastard that you love. You need these players. You love these players. In the big game, they rise to it. The aggression, the hunger, the desire to win. Bernardo's up there with the best, one of the best players in the world. He's done it in all the big games. Derby Day, whether it's not clapping for the guard of honour for Liverpool, he's a prick, but I love him. Look, he went on to say this, right? I've got it written down. Differences between our rivalry with Arsenal and Liverpool. Maybe that Liverpool's won a Premier League and Arsenal's not. Maybe that Liverpool's won a Champions League and Arsenal's not. Maybe that Liverpool always tries to win against us and Arsenal do not. I love it from Bernardo. I love it. I had a bit of salt in the wound because I'm not saying this feels like a win for City, but it feels like a good result. With the position that we were in, to get a 98th minute equaliser, it feels like a result for City. This, whether or not they'll admit it to themselves, you're not fooling anyone. This will feel like a loss for Arsenal fans. They had it in their hands. It was all in their hands again. It will feel like a loss to them. So Bernardo just adding that little bit of salt into the wounds. I absolutely love it. And I love that man. What a boy. And anyway, look, I'll leave it there. Manchester City 2, Arsenal 2, match reaction. I've finished it. If you've not already, go watch the match day vlog. It's a mess of a vlog, I'll be honest. It's probably my shittest when I said it in there. Because of the way that Arsenal played and how frustrating it was. What can I do? What could City fans sing and dance about too much? There wasn't any good clips to sort of film. It was flat until it happened. I've got the videos of it all going off, me falling off me or standing on the barrier, falling down as we sing John Stones, celebrating, giving it to the Arsenal fans. It was a shit video, but a great one at the same time. I think you'll enjoy it because of how shit it is. So go and watch it if you've not already. I thought the atmosphere in the Etihad was bouncing. It was miles better than it has been. We expected it to be. I'm just hoping we can keep it at this level. Obviously, it won't be the same on Tuesday when we've got Watford. You know, no days rest, do we? You know, Monday now, tomorrow, back again at the Etihad. It's not a pain in the ass for me watching. I'm loving it. But as far as the players, it's going to be a really interesting team that Pep's going to field out. I think it'll be a good mix of youth players or players who have struggled for game time this season. So I guess in some ways it's a positive. But look, we'll leave it there. As I said, good atmosphere at the Etihad. Arsenal fans, a good day at the office, really. We end up with a result. Arsenal fans eat their humble pie. It was all in their hands once again. And we bottled it again. You know, you're going to believe us. Now you're going to believe us. Now you're going to believe us. You nearly won the game. You nearly won the game. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more Manchester City content. And yeah, come on, City.